Me and my dog wanna chew on your ear and pick you up, put you in the back of my ute.
Hello and welcome into Eradicating Feral Hogs. Today we're going to talk about why having hogs around is bad for you as a farmer, a hunter, and someone who cares about the native environment. First, we're going to take a look at where hogs came from and why they're here and what makes them such formidable animals and gives them the ability to not only survive but to thrive.
To understand hogs today, I think it is important to understand their history first. Hogs were first introduced to North America by Christopher Columbus in 1492 when he brought pigs with him to the West Indies. While there aren't any records of those pigs making it to the mainland United States, they remain there today as the famous swimming pigs that live around those islands. The first to introduce hogs to the United States was Hernando de Soto. In 1539, he landed in Florida in what is modern-day Tampa Bay. De Soto brought many soldiers along with him on this voyage, and in order to feed everyone, they brought pigs. The pigs would provide food on this trip, and by keeping enough alive, they would be able to reproduce and sustain their population and never run out of food. When De Soto and his men landed, they made their way through Florida, then north into Georgia and the Carolinas, then turned west to Arkansas, Texas, and finally looped back around to Arkansas where they took the Mississippi River down into Louisiana. And along the way, factions of their hogs would run away or get turned loose, and they would start a population in that area. Especially in Florida and Texas, this is where their hog problem started. And then as time went on and people started to raise hogs as livestock and for food for their families, they would on occasion escape, or people wouldn't be able to take care of them or wouldn't want to take care of them anymore, and they would just let them go. Eventually people even got onto the fact that these wild hogs were fun to hunt. So in the late 1800s and early 1900s, Russian boars were introduced for hunting purposes. This led to an even bigger problem because Russian boars are a much larger and much more formidable version of the hogs that De Soto brought over. This turned an already abundant hog problem into a bigger one as the hogs became more equipped to fight native animals, livestock, and humans. Looking at this map, we can see how in just 30 years the population has grown rapidly. The blue areas represent where hogs lived in 1982, and the red area shows where they have expanded to as of 2015. We can see where they have now all but taken over the southeast and started to move into the northeast, and even along the west coast up into the Pacific Northwest. It's because of this rapid expansion and the destruction that they bring that we need to learn from the past and take action now to stop the spread of hogs in the future. The biggest reason behind why hogs are such dominant animals is their physical features. Hogs have huge front shoulders, large tusks, and the ability to run upwards of 30 miles per hour. Looking at this picture here, we can see the anatomy of a hog, and one of the things that stands out and helps hogs so much is their massive shoulder blade. This brings a lot of mass and muscle to the front of the hog and helps them dig deep into the ground and gives them a lot of strength and momentum when attacking other animals, people, and in self-defense. The large shoulder blade provides a specific disadvantage for us as hunters because you can't shoot a hog where you would a deer because the plate in the hog's shoulder is so big and so strong you won't kill it if you hit it without a gun that has a caliber of at least a .270. On top of that, their tusks are great weapons when fighting. Their tusks, or as some people call them cutters, do just that. They cut and tear anything they come in contact with. Hogs will bite and tear or just about swing their tusks at anything when they're attacking and defending themselves. Their cutters also have bacteria on them and can lead to potential infection of any area cut by them. In addition to having physical features that are great for self-defense and when attacking prey, hogs have a great sense of smell and hearing. Their number one sense is by far smell. This is what they use primarily to find food. Hogs will put their nose to the ground and root around until they smell whatever it is they're looking for. This could be peanuts out in a field, shellfish on a creek bank, or other small prey. It also helps them with defense because if they set up downwind of a predator, they'll be able to smell them first and will be able to flee. Their sense of hearing is also a great tool because hogs love to root and bed in the middle of fields, and with their average at best eyesight, they can't see all the way across the field, much like other animals like deer and turkeys. Hogs also love to be active at night, and since hogs have eyes much like humans, they can't see at night all that well. So having the ability to hear well allows them to hear predators coming before they get too close. Now that we've seen where hogs have come from and what makes them such tough animals, let's take a look at what type of habitat they like. Hogs' preferred habitat are any low-lying areas in close proximity to water and food. Hogs love being around creeks and swamps as they provide access to many different types of food and easy access to water. They also like low-lying oak flats and fields with tall, thick cover. In general, the thicker the cover, the better. Hogs have very thick skin, so walking through bushes and briars don't bother them a bit. That being said, hogs are the ultimate survivors and can and will adapt to almost any environment and will be able to live in it. From the swamps of South Florida to the deserts in West Texas, hogs have been able to make many different habitats work for them. And now an interview with my buddy John, who's been called on by many farmers to hunt hogs on their land. Alright John, what is your experience hog hunting?
Well, my experience dates back to, I think, my junior year in high school when I took a class on oceanography and we had to do an invasive species project. And for that project I had to pick, a certain species that interested me, and I picked feral hogs, or feral pigs rather. And I really learned about all the dangers and issues that come about when, hogs go into an area or a farm or something and they just kind of tear up the land. And I really learned that all the issues they can cause to like the livestock or the crops. And so that following summer, I actually went down to my friend's farm down in South Georgia, his grandfather's farm, and I got the chance to see what hog hunting was firsthand, and I really enjoyed it. But that was about 4 years ago, and I think I've gone every summer since, and every time, I've just seen the damages that they've done, and I really like going out there because it's a chance to not only have fun with my friend and his grandfather, but I get to help them, do some maintenance on their farm and take care of the pests.
All right. And what type of crops do you most commonly see hogs going after?
Usually it's just the peanuts and the corn. They really like eating the peanuts, and that's where they do a lot of the damage to just like, I guess, the food on the crop. But they really like hunkering down in the corn, where I think they sleep there at night, and they eat it after they hunker it down. My friend and his grandfather tell me that they don't necessarily think that the hogs knock down the corn just to eat, but they knock it down in massive amounts just to lay there at night because they can kind of hide down there, and then they end up eating it afterwards. So those are really the two main crops that they really go after.
So why is it now that farmers seek you out to come hunt hogs on their land, but some people will go and pay people to hunt hogs on theirs? So people are bringing you in versus somebody going to someone else's and paying them.
Well, I really think that farmers pay me and other people like me to hunt on their land because they truly understand the problems that they face when hogs come and tear up their farmland. Well, like hunting hogs, to me, it's really enjoyable. Like I always have a fun time doing it, but fun is never like the main objective when I go hunting for them. It's something I do to like help my friend and his grandfather do maintenance on their farm and take care of their livestock and their crops. And I think that's really just the important thing to understand, because three things I don't think that people who pay for hog hunts understand is: one, that they can get paid to shoot the hogs, to do the thing that they're paying to do. Two, they don't realize that hogs have created such a problem. Everybody needs them to shoot them, and they don't need to pay for it. And three, hogs are really easy to find, so paying someone to take you to them is kind of I don't know, counterproductive, because really you can find them wherever you go as long as you know the right areas that they're located in.
So what would you say about paid hog hunts then? Would you say that they're counterproductive to eradicating feral hogs?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely understand why people want to pay, to go hog hunting, because oftentimes it can, almost guarantee you that you're going to get to shoot at something. But it's kind of counterproductive in the fact that the purpose of shooting hogs, to me and to many people, is to get rid of them and to stop them from pestering your crops and your animals. When if you're getting paid to have people come and hog hunt on your land, it gives you kind of an incentive to keep the hogs on your land and to not get rid of them. So there's a little bit of a disconnect between the purpose of shooting hogs versus paying someone to go hunt on their land, when it just doesn't seem like people getting paid to have people shoot their hogs would want to actually get rid of them, which is the purpose.
All right.
Thanks for tuning in. I hope you're able to gather some helpful information for your fight against feral hogs.
We'll get you so fast to just stay funny. Take you to the chiller, make lots of money. Then we'll come